Welcome to the Money, Mindset and Business podcast, where we talk about all things money, mindset and business with real life stories and real life people. Let's get into the episode. Welcome everybody to this Positive Intelligence Masterclass. This is a monthly training that I do in my Becoming Balanced Academy. So I have my two members on here with me. They are just currently filling the chat box with gratitude, wins and acknowledgements for today, because we always start our monthly coaching sessions with gratitude, wins and acknowledgements. So I'm just going to read them out. We've got one member who is grateful to be back home safely after a family vacation. A win has had a great presentation this morning with a new group of people, which is awesome. And then an acknowledgement of getting lots of rest lately. Yay for that, definitely, 100% yay for that. So I'm just waiting for the other one to fill the chat box. She's not going, you can't see her face, but she's shaking her head at me. Anyway, if those of you that are watching want to share underneath this, don't worry, Joanne, you are not on camera. If you want to share underneath this live what you are grateful for, a win and acknowledgements, then that would be amazing, because it's a great way for you to go learn how to be grateful for what's going on in your life. So let's get started with the masterclass. So if you just bear with me, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Hopefully you can see me still. Well, you can see the shared screen anyway. So you may notice, you may not notice, that the colours are different. And because this Positive Intelligence Masterclass is actually, I am sharing somebody else's work. A gentleman called Shazad Shemaine. He is the owner and founder of Positive Intelligence Framework. So I'm using all of his branding, mixed in with mine as well, because I am a mental fitness coach who works with his team. So what is mental fitness? The work that Shazad has done, he's done a lot of research around understanding how the brain works, because he found within his own business and in his own life, there are always things that keep coming up that cause us problems, that cause us struggles. And he found that there are 3 core mental muscles that you need to grow to thrive in any challenging situation. So what is mental fitness? Mental fitness is our response to life's challenges, whether that be in a positive mindset or a negative mindset. So something happens to us, and our mental fitness is how we deal with that situation, whether it's good or bad, whichever way, that's what our mental fitness is. And by building your mental fitness, the impact on your life is the fact that your performance increases. You have this peace of mind because you have this thought process that, in fact, everything that happens for a reason, which I'll go on to a little bit later on. And it helps you to build strong, happy, healthy relationships with friends, family, and loved ones. So Shazad did some amazing research into all of this. He was looking at all these areas of neuroscience, cognitive behavior psychology. Yeah, I've said that right. Positive psychology and performance science. So he was looking at all these different areas of how the brain works. He did lots of studies on hundreds of people in different levels within business to understand how their mental fitness and the strength of it is impacting what it is that they're doing in their life and in their businesses. And what he found was, with anything that happens in life, you've got to take it down to the very base level. So going down to the very core reasons why things happen in the first place. Essentially discovering the root cause of any situation. And what he found was that by going deeper and deeper and deeper into how people function, you get this radical simplification of how the brain works. And this is how he discovered the 3 core muscles, which are the root cause to any form of mental fitness, which are the saboteur interceptor, the sage, and the self-command muscle. So these are 3 muscles that in his training, he teaches you to understand and grow. So in his research into himself and into people around him, he discovered that in most people, there are 10 saboteurs. And my members have actually done a saboteur assessment, which is available on the Positive Intelligence website, because we've been doing some work on this already. So they are aware of who their saboteurs are because they've done the assessment already. But along with that, you have the 5 sage powers, which we'll go into a little bit more later on. So at the top of every single person's saboteur tree, as we'll call it, is the judge. And the judge is the judging of self, the judging of others, and the judging of circumstances. So if you could think of a time today where you have had a negative thought about yourself, you've had a negative judgmental thought about somebody else, and a negative judgmental thought about a circumstance that's happened that is beyond your control. That is the judge, saboteur in your mind, taking the lead in how you are thinking about a situation. And every single human being on this planet is led by their judge. Wholly and completely. And the other saboteurs are accomplices. So they are accomplice saboteurs that help the judge gain that power and give you that negative judgmental mindset of yourself, of others, and the circumstances around you. So who are the other saboteurs? So we've got 9 other saboteurs. We've got the controller, hyperachiever, restless, stickler, pleaser, hypervigilant, avoider, victim, and hyper-rational. So these are the 9 other accomplice saboteurs. And when you take this saboteur assessment from the Positive Intelligence website, it gives you all the information about all of these saboteurs, and the questions that are asked will tell you who your top accomplice saboteurs are. And when I did this initial assessment, I was not surprised with the results, because when I read what my top accomplice saboteurs were and what they were thinking, how it made me feel, it made complete and utter sense. So they really do give you an insight into how you are currently living your life. So this is my saboteur assessment results. So at the top, avoider, and then pleaser, which to me makes perfect sense, because I do avoid situations because, for one, I don't like confrontation. It makes me very uncomfortable. And if something I judge as difficult, I just won't attempt it. I won't tackle it. So that's me avoiding difficult situations. And pleaser, I have always, as long as I can remember, have been a people pleaser. I've been doing things to make other people happy rather than myself. So with pleaser being there at the top, that made a lot of sense, because the narrative behind each of these saboteurs is quite in depth, and it really does speak to who you are and who you are being in this journey of life. So I just thought I'd pop in here the avoider characteristics. So, like I've already mentioned, they avoid conflicts 100%. Downplay the importance of problems. Yes, I have done that 100%. Resists others through passive-aggressive means. Yep, I have definitely done that. And procrastinates on unpleasant tasks. Yes, and I still do that. That is something that I'm trying to get control of, because there are tasks in life and in business that I don't really want to do, but they're tasks that need to be done. So my avoider, along with my judge, tells me, oh, it's fine, just ignore it and it'll go away, you'll be fine, you don't need to deal with that. Whereas we know, in fact, that's not true. So like the thoughts here that you can see on the screen, maybe it will take care of itself. Just ignore it, just put it, under the rug, it'll be fine. Somebody else will deal with it. Not dealing with it right here, right now. So putting it off. There is actually something in this pile here that I need to deal with, that I'm putting off because I don't want to. So the avoider, even though I have been in this positive intelligence journey for quite a while now, it still has quite a hold on me, because it's been there for quite a while, that avoider saboteur, and I've not got that control over it like I want to yet. But that's what comes with doing the work each and every day. And I definitely don't want conflict with others. I would rather avoid others than be in conflict with them. So just avoid situations where there may be a conflict, because I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. And having balance and not wanting to mess it up, that's essentially jumping outside of your comfort zone and doing things that make you feel uncomfortable, which I think for everybody is quite uncomfortable. But for us avoiders, we get that extra rough no, just don't do it. It's fine, just don't do it. So where do these saboteurs live? So they live in the left-hand side of our brain. That's where they all are. And then these sage powers that I'm talking about, they are all in the right-hand side of the brain, where all the emotions and the creativity are. So how are saboteurs motivated? They are motivated by our negative emotions, because if we have any of those negative thoughts that are brought on by the judge, all of these accomplice saboteurs that are underneath will jump on the bandwagon to help solidify those negative emotions that we've got and tell us, well, yeah, that must be true because of this. And it's looking back in those memory banks for a situation that's similar to confirm, well, yes, because I've judged this as negative, so I've got these negative emotions. These accomplices are coming in going, yeah, because of this, and all these situations, excuse me, to confirm to you these negative emotions are true, and the situation that you've judged as negative is in fact negative. Whereas the sage powers, which I'll get onto in a bit, I'm not going to leave you hanging on those, are motivated by these positive emotions about happiness, love, and joy, and all those sorts of things, which is essentially where we all want to be. We want to be living a life filled with happiness, joy, and love. I mean, because what else is there, really, apart from love in life? So you may find, well, you may have this conversation in your head. Well, there's been all these negative emotions in my life, and I've got to this really great point in my life. So why should I change? Well, ask yourself this question: are you happy? Are you truly happy with the success that you've got? Have you built it on these negative emotions and been motivated by these negative emotions to get to where this success is? I mean, if that's the situation that you're in and you're successful but unhappy, maybe you want to reevaluate what success actually means to you and come from it from that point of view. Just a thought. And then the sage powers, they generate success and happiness. So you have a sustainable happiness because you've built your life and your business based upon happiness, love, and joy. And then your success is deemed from being happy, having love in your life, and living a joyful life. So, question for you. Do you think that negative emotions are actually good for you? That's a question to Joanne and Renata. You can either shake your head or nod because I can see you on my one screen. Do you think negative emotions are good for you? So Renata says yes. Yeah, Joanne says yes. Awesome. Well, they are, believe it or not. Negative emotions are helpful for a very short second. So you get those negative emotions. Oh, okay, so something's not quite right here. And what those negative emotions are is a little bit of that intuition that you have inside, that something going on is making you a little bit uncomfortable. And it gives you this alert. Think of it as you put your hand on the stove and you feel that it's hot. That alert is your brain saying, oh, that's hot, move your hand. Oof. That's how quick you want negative emotions to sit in you. You use them as an awareness tool, as something to go, okay, something doesn't feel quite right. I'm not quite comfortable with what is going on here right now. So just use it as an awareness tool, as an intuitive tool to guide you in your life and in your business. Because if you stay holding on to these negative emotions, it's going to blur your vision and you're not going to be able to see things very clearly, because it's not that sage mind running the show. It's that judge, it's those accomplice saboteurs that are trying to keep you safe, but in fact are holding you back. Okay? So, saboteur interception. This is what I've just spoke about. So this first mental fitness muscle is this saboteur interception, which is going, okay, so I've had this negative emotion, let's do something about it. So using it that little split second to have that awareness. And the more you become aware of when these negative emotions come into your mind and into your body, you're building that saboteur interception muscle in your brain to help you with that mental fitness. So the sage. What is the sage? So the sage mind lives in... Sorry, Joanne's just shouting something at the screen. Not quite sure what she's saying. Anyway, so the sage brain lives where all your positive emotions are. So your happiness, your joy, your love, excitement. And it's a place of peace and calm. Gives you that clear-headed focus, has that creative mind, and helps you see that bigger picture of what's going on around you. So this is where we operate from something called the sage perspective, which is every outcome or circumstance can be turned into a gift and opportunity. That is the sage perspective. I did a whole training on this in my academy, where we did a whole visualization technique on a situation where we went from a situation that's not quite great in our lives at the moment that we want to deal with, and we took it to the very worst case scenario. And from that point, we did a visualization technique to bring it back to, okay, so what are the gifts? What are the opportunities? What can I learn from this situation going as bad as it could ever be? And that is a technique that I taught a couple of months ago now, I think, in the academy. So if anybody's looking to join after this, it's there for you to do as well. So question for you, what perspective would you say is true? Is the saboteur perspective that this is bad, this situation is bad, everything that's happening is bad, or the sage perspective, this is a gift? Because whatever answer that you believe is the answer that becomes true for you. During the training with Shazad, when I was doing this, he talked about a story about a farmer with a stallion. So this farmer had this prize-winning stallion, and one day some thieves come and take the stallion from the what's it called, where horses live? Farm, barn, thing, stable. That's the word, stable. From the stable one night, and the farmer wakes up the next day. His neighbours come round. They're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't believe your stallion's been stolen." And he said, "Well, who am I to judge whether this is good or bad?" And that was his response. His neighbours were like, "What? Okay." And then a couple of days later, the stallion makes its way back, comes back to the farmer, and the farmer's there, yeah, he's got his stallion back. The neighbours come around going, yeah, this is amazing, this is amazing. And he's like, well, who am I to judge that whether this is good or bad? Few days down the line, the farmer's son rides the stallion, falls off, breaks his leg, comes back from the hospital. Neighbours come around and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry your son's broke his leg. Is he all right? Blah, blah, blah. Like, who am I to judge that whether this is good or bad? Because the farmer had the perspective that everything that happens for a reason. So everything that happens, every outcome, every circumstance is a gift. And it's not until we realise what that gift is, and until that point, we just wait. Because everything that happens for a reason, and there is a gift, an opportunity, every single outcome and circumstance that happens to you is happening for you in your life. And this is the sage perspective of the mind. It can take some time to get to that way of thinking, especially when you feel like the world is against you. But having that belief, that real core belief that everything that's happening is happening for a reason. You may not see what that reason is right here, right now, but no, it will come into fruition. You will see the gift and you will see the opportunity coming to you in the future. So, how do we build that self-command muscle? That's that third muscle. We do PQ reps. And I'm going to do a couple of PQ reps with here with you now. Yes, here with you now. I've been doing these with my academy members for quite a few weeks now. So they've seen them before. So close your eyes. I'm going to do them with you. Just take a few deep breaths. So what I want you to start with is I want you to notice your breath. I want you to feel and notice the rising and falling of your chest as you breathe. You may have thoughts popping into your mind. what I would invite you to do is acknowledge them and let them go, and just concentrate all of your attention on the rising and falling of your chest as you breathe. Now, I want you to notice the sound of your breath, whether it's coming in and out of your mouth or in or out of your nose, it doesn't really matter. Just notice the sound of your breath as you're breathing. Again, if any thoughts come into your mind, acknowledge them and just let them go, and concentrate on listening to the sound of your breath as you're breathing. Now I want to invite you to listen for the furthest away sound that you can hear. Listen as far away as you can and listen out for the farthest away sound that you can hear. If any thoughts come into your mind while you're listening, acknowledge them, let them go, and concentrate on listening out for the sound that you can hear furthest away. And then we're going to do some PQ reps with touch. I want you to take your thumb and forefinger, rub them together, and with as much attention that you can feel the ridges on both your finger and your thumb. If any thoughts pop into your head, acknowledge them and let them go. Concentrate on feeling that thumb and finger ridges. Now I want you to put your hands together as if you're praying, and I want you to rub your fingertips down the fingers and palm of each hand, noticing and feeling all of the sensations you rubbing your fingers up and down each hand. If any thoughts pop into your head, acknowledge them and let them go, and just concentrate purely on feeling those sensations on your hands. Okay, and that's it. So those are PQ reps, and what we're doing, there's varying different things that you can do, but these are the easiest ones to do over a Zoom call for training purposes. What's that doing is it's quieting that saboteur mind, and it's engaging that sage brain, because all of those thoughts swimming around in your head are generally pushed into your brain and into your consciousness by the saboteurs in your mind. So by quieting your mind, you're activating that sage brain, which gives you all that creativity, empathy, and all those really good positive emotions. In the training that I'm going to offer you at the end of the Masterclass today, in the 6-week training, you do 36 reps per day, which is around 15 minutes a day. So it's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. But by starting to introduce this sort of quiet mind, I mean, you can do meditation, it's the same sort of thing. It's just quieting that saboteur mind and having that quiet, non-thoughtful mind. And by focusing on the sensations and the sounds and the feelings, you ground yourself. So the whole positive intelligence is essentially an operating system. So you have this feeling of a negative emotion. This is that interceptor muscle. So you stop it because you're in saboteur mode when you're having those negative emotions. So you do some of those PQ reps, be it meditation, standing on the grass, grounding yourself, doing some PQ reps, just doing something to calm that negative emotion and activate that sage brain. And then you assume the sage perspective that everything that happens can be converted to a gift and opportunity. And you generate those gifts using the sage powers of empathy, curiosity, creativity, and that calm, clear-headed mind and action. There was actually a really good story from Chris Dorris, who is a mental fitness coach, where he had somebody around his house. He woke up in the morning and his fridge freezer was broken, and all the food was spoiled, and there was water all over the floor. And I think in the story, was it Devon? Was there? Devon Vanderson came out and said, "What are you thinking?" And where's the gift in this? Because this is exactly what Chris Dorris teaches. And Chris was like, right now, I don't really know. His initial reaction was, beep. I'm not going to say it out live on Facebook, but it was not a normal word. It was a swear word. But his initial thought, that initial interception, negative emotion, he thought it and then he stopped it. And he reminded himself that every opportunity and every circumstance is a gift. What that gift was at that particular point in time, I think they were possibly having a barbecue as well, and all the meat was ruined because the fridge was broken. At that point in time, he had no idea what the gift was, but he said, "I'll let you know when I know what it is." I don't know the end of the story. I'm sure we'll find out because he's going to be guest speaker in the community that I'm in at some point soon, I think. No, it's not Chris, it's Devon. Is Chris coming as well? I'll have to ask the question. I'm going to ask the question to find out the ending to what the gift was to the end of that story. But this is it in action, because things happen to us in our life all day, every day. Unexpected things that we don't know that are going to occur, and we don't know how they're going to make us feel. We don't know when they're going to happen, and that is just life. That is just life. Things happen to us, but we've got to remember that everything happens for us, not to us. And that's the situation. That's the mindset that you need to be in. Renata's just put in here, the gift was the story and being able to share it and show people how to use the operating system in real time. Exactly, that's possibly what the gift was. Sounds like a good gift to me, to use that particular story that happened to him in his life to share how to use this operating system. So, a question. Do you think it's really possible to shift from saboteur to sage, even in really tough challenges? Yeah, I've got two nods from my academy members. So yes, of course you can. And the speed and the depth of how quickly that shift happens, it depends on how strong those muscles are. So like with anything to do with self-development and inner growth, it takes time. It takes time, it takes practice, and you need to be in the work to be able to build the muscles up, to be able to shift that perspective in your mind. So it's not a quick, easy win like that. It's never going to be quick and easy when it comes to any form of self-development work. So lasting change takes the initial insight and then working on those mental muscles to strengthen it. So that insight is that intuition. Say, oh, I've got some negative emotions here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the work to work through this negative emotion and find the gift and opportunity. And it's doing that however many times a day that it happens. Yes, you may not find the gifts there and then, but just having that knowledge in your mind that along the line somewhere, this is going to turn into a gift and opportunity for me. It just makes life a hell of a lot happier to not be dwelling in those negative emotions. So like I've just said, success requires intense initial practice to get you into the routine and the habit of going through this operating system. And like I've said, 15 minutes a day. The course, the Positive Intelligence course, is 6 weeks, but you get access to the app for 12 months after those 6 weeks. So you've got the content there for you to work through it again and do those PQ reps. And there's in the app, there's something called the PQ Gym, which has got exercises. I think there's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and 15 minutes on different sorts of PQ reps that you can go in and do every day. I tend to do a nice big chunk in the morning, and then I top it up throughout the day because there's like a battery on your PQ charge on the app, which is quite interesting actually. So if you've enjoyed today, I've got an offer for you. As you know, this is part of my Becoming Balanced Academy because I've mentioned that already. So my Becoming Balanced Academy is £49 a month. And in that, you get monthly trainings like this, not always live on Facebook, but today's a special one. You get a monthly mastermind, which is in the middle of the month, where we go through what we've learned at the beginning of the month and how we've implemented it and applied it to our life. And we get weekly accountability calls. At the moment, they are in the morning in the UK time. So if you're in the US, you're fast asleep. But we'll see how we can juggle that depending on who joins the academy when and how we can fit it all in. But after that, or as well as that, I run my one-to-one money mastery coaching and mentoring, which is essentially having me as your money coach and mentor for 3 months. And you'll get 12 months to the Becoming Balanced Academy included within that price. And intertwined with both the Becoming Balanced Academy and the Money Mastery Coaching is all of this mental fitness work. And we are going to be running the 6-week training with Shazad starting this Saturday coming. So I have whoever wants to join either the Becoming Balanced Academy or the one-to-one coaching, you're going to get access to the 6-week course, which if you go onto his website is worth $995. But if you join with me, I can get you on there for free. That's $995 worth of training for free. And that's for the first 3 people that sign up to either option. That's available there for you. So the logistics of it all are details of the program. You can search on that web address there. I'll post it in the comments of this live afterwards. The deadline for you to let me know whether you're interested is Wednesday this week, because I need to set you up on the app for you to be able to join in with us because it starts on Saturday. And teeth back in. I will be running weekly pod meetings on a Monday night at 7 p.m. or 1 p.m. Got that right. Or 1 p.m. if you're over there in the States where Renata is in Texas. to essentially talk about the training, because the training is released on a Saturday and you have to have watched it by the Monday. It's usually around an hour's worth of training, and then we get together as a pod to talk about what we've learned. And then from Tuesday to Friday, it's essentially coach challenges every day to build those PQ rep muscles and build that sage mind, that saboteur interceptor, and that self-command muscle. And it's all tracked within an app on your phone, and it's all accessible via an app on your phone, which is really, really handy because you can do it wherever you are, wherever you want to be. And that is it. That is the end of my slideshow. And that is the end of my presentation. I haven't seen if anybody's watching on Facebook because I've been presenting, but thank you for watching if you have been watching. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. And if you want to have any questions about what I've got on offer, please either comment below or send me a message, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Anyway, thank you very much, and I'll speak to you soon.